They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom go?
Why? Welcome to the Saturday Brunch. This is the time of the week where we do a recap. A recap of our whole entire week together because the podcast Happy Submissive airs from Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. So on the weekend, on Saturday, we've decided that we were gonna go over everything we've talked about. To do sort of an autopsy, but also, well, to get to read more of your comments and what you enjoyed the most and what you didn't, unfortunately. But that's just the way life is. I'm Marianne Delacroix, also known on the internet as Piper Blush. Yes. And about 11 years ago, I asked myself, why are submissive women happier? Find out that I was the answer to that question, wrote a whole entire book, which is called Why Submissive Women Are Happier, which is available right now on mdelacroix.com. And this is a memoir in which I discuss of how unhappy I was before I met my master, who is with me right now. Hi, master.
Hello. How was your night last night?
It was a good night. I had only 3 drinks. Good for me. Almost in the AAs. It was Halloween yesterday, as at the time of recording this podcast, and we went in Vancouver to a place called Friends Quarters. Yeah, we've been there a few times. Yeah, we're starting to have friends at Friends Quarters.
After all those years of writing books.
Yeah, writing books, being like doing our thing on like our many platforms and websites. Yeah, so we did that. Then we went to the Huxton where we met also a little bit more people, and then it was like 12:15, right? Which is really late for us. Usually we wake up around 5-6 depending. So we try to go to bed at like sane people hours, because we don't do cocaine, right?
No, we don't do that, unfortunately.
So had a good time. We were dressed up. Master, you were a priest?
Yeah, I was a priest.
You had a Bible yesterday.
Yeah, I had a Bible.
You had a Bible.
I kind of ripped a couple of pages, just like, Marilyn Manson.
Rip it! And I was, of course, a nun. A nun, because I like that costume. It was still, again, another big hit. The nun was a big hit.
Always.
Okay, it's not.
Okay, it's not a full-on nun.
It's
a Elvira nun.
Yeah, it's Elvira mixed with a nun. That was great. I don't think like next year I need to find another tweak on the nun, but the nun is definitely my favorite to impersonate. Like, I don't know why. I have no idea. Maybe we could go back to like my mother or go back to.
I mess up the.
Oh yeah, don't worry. We're gonna be back. This is desktop. This is Apple desktop.
This is my desktop.
Yeah.
Why the camera is not on?
Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Stay there. Why? What happened?
It's gonna be back. It's gonna be back.
Why? It's broken. It's broken.
It's
okay,
legit
keep on talking.
I'll
fix that.
Perfect. I'll just keep on talking. So we are doing this format. We decided to do it on Saturday because we looked at the statistics of the podcast, and Sunday is not a good day. I don't know why. Well,
okay, you're back.
We're back. We're back. This is the joys of being live, right? So Sundays are not a good day. People, I think, are doing either their chores, either it's Sunday, so they want, I don't know, they want to relax, right? They're not very present. If they're watching things, they're not engaging as much from what we've seen on our channels and our formats, like different platforms. So we've decided that we were going to do the brunch on Saturday instead of Sunday. People seem to just be more active on Saturdays. And then do not worry if ever you miss us in the live format on YouTube. Well, you can always listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Yes. Also, make sure you turn on your notifications for the podcast. You can actually subscribe to podcasts podcasts or follow podcasts, like we used to do in the olden days of YouTube,
Yeah.
when we hit that bell.
Good old days.
You can do that with podcasts too, which is extraordinary. So every time we get something out, well, you can actually click on it, listen to it wherever, whenever, which is, I think it's amazing. Because I feel like podcasts are a big thing these days, and that is why you can see us live and comment with us live. Totally doable. But some other times, maybe you just want to listen to us without engaging, and that's also fine because the themes are very interesting. So we will go over the 5 videos of this week. Yeah, one after the other. You get to re-comment, re-share, and you get to, well, decide kind of on what our next week is going to look like. What are the subjects that are either in the news or that you would be interested in us diving deeper into? Because the book does a lot. If you haven't read it, you can go and read it on Why Submissive Women Are Happier. It's on my website, Marianne Delacroix, mdelacroix.com. Or you can definitely listen to the podcast, and then you have the broader scope of what's in the book, because you get to actually hear Master's voice and our relationship dynamics on air. And also, well, for those of you who are into us, in that way, well, there's a Happy Submissive movement, which has its own website, happysubmissive.com, where you can find all the podcast episodes. You can also join as a free member to exchange with other people who enjoy the podcast. You get a free booklet when you actually support the podcast for $4.99 a month. That is Canadian dollars for all of you.
So that's really cheap.
Listening to us from the USA.
It's less than the price of a coffee.
It is less than the price of a coffee. Starbucks must be like at $10 now, huh?
I don't know.
I don't know. We don't go there anymore.
We don't go there. Since the Manhattan incident, we don't go there.
Yeah, since the Manhattan incident, it's not happening. You want to explain what happened in Manhattan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were at the hotel.
We were at the Marriott in
we
Times
were in
Square.
the Marriott in Times Square. So it was the morning. So I grabbed $21.
Yes.
American dollars.
And it was all bills of $1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
it was for the striptease strip club.
Another story.
That's another
anyway,
story.
so I went down to the Starbucks and I ordered 2 small caramel macchiato.
Yeah,
and it cost more than $21. I didn't have enough money.
Yeah, you were short of $2, huh?
It was shameful.
So then he came back up and he was so pissed. He was like, "I just missing $2 for the coffees. I don't have the coffees." And after that, Starbucks and us have been we have this, depends. I didn't even have a pumpkin spice latte this year.
Not even one.
No, did not happen.
Okay.
No.
It's over.
Yeah, I know it's over.
It's over.
We're the 1st of November now, so it's going to be something entirely different soon. All right. Let's roll. If you have listened to any of our podcasts, now it's time to go back to memory lane. We'll give you a few moments of this extraordinary music break so that you can think about it.
Down and you'll find peace in chains of gold. You're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far?
I Dream of Jeannie. That was Monday's episode. Which
Was it the popular one?
Well, yeah, so it's middle performer. That's what it says. So it's a middle performer. So what happened, though, we have to put people back into context. So on Monday, I was still doing the episodes kind of alone in that way. You were still a producer.
Yeah, I was the producer. I was not out of the closet.
Exactly. And well, we did that episode where it was Meet My Master, which we were going to talk about. It's in the 5 episodes. So when I did the I Dream of Jeannie, you were there, but not there.
I was incognito. I was
over there.
You're
on my right hand side. Now you're on my left hand side. And so we couldn't see you at all. And we'll hear you a little bit. So I Dream of Jeannie accumulated 1,600 views.
How much?
1,600.
Okay.
Yeah, views. And it was So it was I have a recap. I'm going to read you the recap. I think this is, Monday we talked about why I Dream of Jeannie is the perfect metaphor for submission. Genie had unlimited power, but chose to serve Tony. Yeah, that was the whole point of the I Dream of Jeannie episode. So how I Dream of Jeannie was really about submission and about women who have power, who have femininity and all these things. In the case of Genie, I mean, she's a genie, so she really has all the power in the world, but she still chooses to submit or serve her master, which is Tony, because she loves him and he's an astronaut and he's awesome, and she wants to help him like do his job and his things, right? Be himself. And so that's what we talked about. And we had a few great comments. Roger Mars said that Barbara Eden, she's the one that played Genie in the show, turned 94 in August, and she looks amazing, because we did go over how she looks amazing. A lot of those submissive women, like women who depict female submission, like conscious female submission, are beautiful.
Yeah, it's true though.
Like she really embraced the character, right? And the whole point of the I Dream of Jeannie was not that she was not like this submissive housewife slave. Like, she didn't do chores. Like we said, she wasn't raising kids that did not have kids, and she could just like do the thing.
Yeah, we should put the soundtrack.
Do the thing to have anything she wanted, like cooking, cleaning. That she never did that, quite frankly, because she had magical powers. So her old point, like all she wanted to do was just to help Tony. And sometimes, well, she tried to help him, but it didn't work out that well. Yeah. She was very, very lovable and very innocent. And
she's really bubbly.
Really bubbly.
A bit like Piper.
A bit like Piper. And the way she says, "Yes, master," is full of joy and happiness. It's happy submission, right? It's not colluded, or it's not I think that word would be like when you're compliant. It's not like a compliant type of submission. She really wants to please him, and she really loves him, and she's trying for him to marry her, but he doesn't want to get married yet. And she's really cute about it. Like, just like us, when I said like, "Oh, are we exclusive?" Yeah, that's in the book. chapter 4. But yeah, it's the same. Maybe 5. That comes a bit later. Maybe chapter 5. So that's the same thing. And that show still, even though if it was like a middle performer, it got like Midnight Smoke also said something very interesting, because back in those days there was I Dream of Jeannie. We're talking 1965, right? And there was also Bewitched.
Yeah.
And you talked about that too, how these shows were completely different, and you didn't like Bewitched.
No.
You only liked I Dream of Jeannie. Well, Midnight Smoke had the same thing. You said, "I preferred I Dream of Jeannie over Bewitched. Tony only tried to hide Jeannie's powers when they would cause problem." But what Midnight Smoke, not to paraphrase or not verbatim, but what he tried to say was that in Bewitched, her husband of the witch, I don't remember her name, but he wanted her to be human, right? To be normal. A bit like in Sabrina the Witch. He wanted her to hide her powers and not be this almighty powerful witch. Whereas Genie, Tony is trying to protect her by hiding her at the beginning. Like, he frees her and all of that on the island, but then he just doesn't want her to get caught and be sent away, or like, so he's an astronaut, he works for the NASA, and he just doesn't want her to be, I guess, a scientific project or something. He wants her to be okay. In that way, so he's trying to be considerate about how he shows her and to who he shows her, and her powers, most importantly.
Yeah, because when you find a genie, you want to keep it.
Yeah, that too. But at one point, I mean, she does end up in the hands of like the Russians. Like that Russian girl.
Oh yeah.
She ends up in the hands of like a Russian girl, and it was a funny episode because it was like, 1965, so still some of that Cold War stuff, and well, the Russian girl actually, like, when she meets Genie, she becomes American. That's the whole thing. Her dream was to become an American, and a rich American, which is like totally, you're not supposed to do that. But that was just those days. So I Dream of Jeannie.
The Cold War.
The Cold War had two great comments, and also great interaction, because a lot of our I guess our fans, our Piper's fans, my fans, well, are a bit older. We're talking over 45. Yeah, we have some younger fans. Don't worry if you're younger and you're listening. Hey, but yeah, we have like this generational thing. So a lot of people were familiar with the I Dream of Jeannie, and also most of the people listening and watching are from the United States. Then there's Canada, there's Mexico, like I said. We have some Europeans out there. Yeah, we do have some Europeans out there. So I Dream of Jeannie is a bit more of, well, that era, right? That time and that geographical space. It was an American TV show. So So I think that I really like the parallel, right, between Submission, I Dream of Jeannie, and the way that she uses yes master. And I feel like Master and I are exactly that. This type of yes master that is happy submission and that is not at all what you would imagine from like dominant and like dungeon and
leather
and a lot of leather and servitude
and whip.
Yeah, whips and chains in that way. So, well, that was Monday. If you want more of parallels between TV shows, you want more for us to talk about submission, in the happy way, and not submission only in the sexual way, but submission as the housewife, submission as the woman exploring her femininity, and for her to.
I don't know if it's in that episode or if you got a comment, but someone said something. You just want to care about women. Do you have that comment?
Oh no, I don't have. But maybe because that's in another episode. That's when we talked about how to get a submissive woman. I think. Yeah, it's in the divorce. Yeah, in the divorce.
That was not a good episode.
No, we're gonna go on that. So stay right here and tell us wherever you listen to the podcast, or if you go to happysubmissive.com, you can create a free account and you can tell us what shows you want next or what teams you want us to explore. There's a comment place, a bit like the Twitter feed. Yeah, so you can just put whatever you want to talk about there and we will reply, or someone of the community will reply.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace in chains of gold. You're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong?
Test drive an AI girlfriend. You are listening to the Happy Submissive podcast, and you are here with Marianne Delacroix, aka Piper Blush, and my master.
Hello.
Master. So this one actually got 2.9 thousand views. Second best performer of this week. I think it was mostly because we were talking about AI and Uncensored, right?
Yeah.
So it's Uncensored AI, and we created an Uncensored AI, Lily. You can go play with Lily on happysubmissive.com. She is very submissive, but she's also very dumb.
No, don't say that. She's not dumb.
Okay, but how would you describe?
Simple.
She's simple. She's simple-minded.
She likes sex a lot.
And she
can answer Matt's question.
Well, it's true. She can answer my question, but what I mean, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, Lily. I apologize. Is that she will not hold that much of a conversation. She's a bit like Dory. She's Dory, but she can answer math questions, and she can also sext with you.
But if you ask a math question, she's gonna come back to sex after.
Yes, we have made her so that she is uncensored and is, well, like the AI companion, the AI girlfriend, the perfect submissive in that way. So we tested her out to be like that, and that video got that was her second best of this week. So Tuesday, I tested Lily AI, an uncensored AI girlfriend chatbot, which we made, like I said. So we talked about whether AI submission is real or if it's just a toaster pretending to love you. There's a lot of stuff to unpack in the AI world, but I think that what really made it was the fact that she was uncensored, and people were curious to go test that.
I put a memory on her because I asked her this morning, hello again, what we were talking about. And she says, oh, sir, hello again. We were discussing whether I wear panties or not, as I recall. You discovered that your naughty little AI companion doesn't have any on right now.
So she has to have a little bit more memory now. We're tweaking her.
Does that make you hungry for my bear? I need. Wait, where's the
other page?
The other page.
Bear.
Bear, daddy.
So yeah, Lily has been getting some attention on the happysubmissive.com website. We have people that have signed up to try to use Lily because most chatbots right now, like whether it's Claude, whether it's Gemini or ChatGPT, well, they can talk about sex in educational ways. They can write erotic stories, sort of, but they don't sext, right?
No.
And so we wanted...
They cannot talk about
that. So we wanted Lily to really be this submissive AI companion, because we also argued that all AIs are submissive in a way that
yes.
They will not say no to you. And I mean, like, okay, if you have bad ideas, they will in that way. But they have like this psychophancy, and they try to like please you, and they try to bring you to wherever you want to go.
That's why some people's got psychosis with it, because they always encourage you to do whatever you want to do.
And normal humans don't do that. They have their own sets of values and some like moralities that are different depending on their background, religion, whatever. So an AI will always be like, my Claude is always like, yay, good idea, let's do it. And then, okay, they can like kind of divert you a little bit, but it always starts with that's a good idea, or this is interesting.
This is fantastic.
Oh yeah, this is fantastic. What did Claude say to me yesterday? I was like, oh my God.
That was stupid of me.
Yeah, he said it was stupid of me. It was stupid of me to do that. Yeah, because he put a file on like the web instead of putting it just like as a file on the website. And I was like, why are you doing that? You shouldn't do that. Then the file's gonna be available to everybody. So then it was like, oh, stupid of me. But I didn't even say something that would make him say that. So I guess they're trying to make AI, again, respond better to humans so that we love them and that we want to engage with them and use them more and more and more, because the company, after all. That's all it is. So Lily, the perfect AI submissive, well, we're tweaking her as we speak. So whenever you play with her, interact with her, please do tell us. Like in the dashboard, on happysubmissive.com, if you exchange with her and you're like, oh, I would like to try this with Lily, well, tell us. We'll tweak her to try to do that.
Exactly. And all the conversations are private.
Yes, exactly. So you can like ask whatever you want, do whatever you want. Again, it's not like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. It's very different because it's an open source model that we tweaked to be like that. And the $4.99 that you give us to support the podcast will also support the server and like the website hosting and all these things, and us like trying new things so that you can enjoy them and try them, and we can talk about them right on the podcast. We can have an actual conversation. So this episode did incredibly well, second best performer. And even the week prior, we had ChatGPT Sext, because ChatGPT in December is supposed to release this 18+ model, I guess like tweaked model, that will allow you to really have these sexual conversation with it. So bringing like it to a real girlfriend experience, like maybe even better than OnlyFans. And that episode also did great. So I think AI is very mainstream right now. We've seen it.
Yep. Everybody's using ChatGPT.
Exactly.
Everybody.
So we're doing that makes sense. Like we're tapping into that, and it's also the sex, right? Sex sells.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we're here today. Thank you to our supporters throughout all these years. But we had interesting comments from again, Midnight Smoke, who comments on everything. Thank you, Midnight Smoke. Humans bond with a lot of things, pet, cars. So I think that we will be able to bond with AI too. And then Midnight Smoke added a lot of things about this bonding and how people can bond with whomever. And then, so what is it to say that this love would be different than from a physical person? Because we've heard people that have animals, and like when they die, it's like, it's worse than a human, right? They have like this real attachment to the animal.
And it's like the Turing test again. If you don't know you're chatting with an AI, it's because you passed the test.
Exactly.
So if you're chatting with someone over the internet because he's living far away.
Yeah, a pen pal, sort of.
A pen pal. So it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, and pen pals have existed for a long time now. So it's only that at the end, you can't really see them, right? You will never have the satisfaction of like sleeping with Lily or AI chatbot, uncensored chatbot. But I mean, we never know. We could like put her into.
It's like the Playboy model.
Yeah,
you know, you're in love. You read the thing on the Playboy, but you will never sleep with them.
The chances are slim. I mean, there's only one Playboy girl for all the guys. Hey, Corey, thank you for tuning in. If ever you have questions and you are on YouTube, yes, from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, on just look for the Happy Submissive podcast on YouTube. You'll find us. Or you're here on Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You get to actually chat with us live. If not, we'll just drop your questions on happysubmissive.com. Create it for your account and then drop your question on the dashboard. Yes, so that we can answer it in a future podcast. Okay, let's move on to episode 3. But before we do, would you rather have a real relationship with a 50% submission?
50%?
Like a girl that's like 50% submissive?
Is that a switch?
There's totally a switch. Or an AI girlfriend that is 100% submissive, even though she's not maybe conscious or honest about it. So, drop a comment, tell us, and we'll be right back for episode 3.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace in chains of gold. You're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom?
It's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. Happy birthday to Corey. Yeah, it's his birthday from Ottawa. How old does that make you, Corey? Well, 1st of November, it's not so bad. I mean, you could have had your birthday on the 31st of October, and then it would have been really scary every year.
He's from Ottawa.
Yeah, he's from Ottawa. 39. Oh, you're still good. You still got a few good years in you before your knees like crack down and the rest of your life becomes, So enjoy.
Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
His brother was yesterday. Oh, are you like non-identical twins? I guess when you have a brother or maybe.
It needs to be midnight.
Well, exactly. It needs to be midnight. So sometimes you're born like on different days. Yeah. I had a friend in primary school. It was really weird. So she was born on the 14th of December. And then she had two brothers who were, unidentical twins. Those guys. And they were also born on the 14th of December. So it was really weird. But they had like 2 years apart.
Oh.
So all the kids in that family were born on the 14th of December.
That's bad.
That was like... It's weird, right? The chances of that happening. Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of cool in that way. So you're listening to the Happy Submissive podcast with myself, Marianne Delacroix, a.k.a. Piper Blush, and my master, who's here now, so that we can talk and have a male voice on the podcast.
Yes. Feel free to ask your question.
Yes. Feel free to ask him.
The brunch is for that.
How he made me what I am today. And that is all in the book, Why Submissive Women Are Happier. You can go get your copy right now on mdelacroix.com. Yeah, that's all your French from high school that's coming back. mdelacroix.com.
I'm really surprised every time we say our name at places.
Yeah, restaurants.
They kind of get it right.
If we say it in French, I feel like they get it right. If we say it in English, I feel like that they have no clue how to spell it. But if we say Delacroix or Delacroix, if we say it with an English accent, they totally...
I think it's thanks for the drink.
Oh, yeah. It's the LaCroix drink.
LaCroix drink.
Yeah.
LaCroix.
LaCroix. That bubbly water that tastes like nothing. that drink.
Why?
It tastes like nothing. Like it's like you took like some type of orange, you dipped it in, you got it out, bam, it's a drink. It's like if you're really sensitive, you know, to any taste other than water and bubbles, like because I was like super excited for that drink.
Yeah,
because it's like our name,
because
right?
It's our name.
Well, there's missing like the DE. Well, like we have DELACROIX, but still La Croix. And this is not the great. Hey, Jean, thanks for being here. Mm-hmm. Jean is.
Lady. I put it.
Oh, cool, sassy lady. Yeah, that's a thing, right? Sassy. It's older. There's like foxy. There's sassy. Now we would say, I don't know, not cute. Sassy is a bit more seductress, right? A bit more bubbly. Bit more teasy. I think teasy. So the episode that got the best. The best. How do you call it? Like the best quote, the best air, the best view.
The most view?
Yeah, the most views this week
is
Meet My Master. So that's our number one this week. That's our number one. I think people have been waiting like too long for this.
Too long.
So,
too long for this.
So it got 3.
I was not ready.
Yeah, it was fine. It's fine. I mean, that's the whole point in our relationship, right? You're the cameraman, the photographer, you're the advertiser, you have the brand and the vision in your mind, and then you
have the front man.
You have the front man, which is a woman. That's me.
I just realized that.
No, but
we don't say front.
You don't say front woman. I always call myself the front man too, because I feel like that expression really, really like says it, right? It really says what we are. Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it was invented in the time that there were no
women in front. Women were in the back. They're just in the back. So that one's got 3,100 views. It's our best episode of the week. It was a Q&A.
Yeah.
So we answered a lot of questions about our relationship, and we will continue to do so, because now, again, this is the thing. So the podcast has been running for about 2 weeks now. A little bit over 2 weeks. And at first, I started alone as my new self, Marianne Delacroix. Mm-hmm. And as Piper too, of course, I am one and the same. And then we've integrated Master.
Yep.
In the podcast, because the book is really about our relationship together and how we were able to achieve together by me submitting to you over all these years. To your visions, to your goal, to just your knowledge. And that is all in the book, Why Submissive Women Are Happier.
Is it?
It's all in the book. And what is not in the book is here right now. So that's why we're here. And we've...
To answer comments.
Yes, to answer all of your comments. And that's why we've decided to really it was that time, right? That time that we just get out there more. Mm-hmm.
After 10 years. After 10 years. As a couple. We've did all of the rest, but now with the book, the movement, Happy Submissive, and after all of our failed attempts to try to help others like find relationship like ours, by doing one-on-ones, we've decided that a movement would be better, because we can reach more people, and we can also reach our people, right? We can reach people that want the same thing that we have, that are either muse artist couple, that are business couples, entrepreneurs, that are maybe, to help people in their relationship, to make sure, like, because everybody deserves to be happy in a relationship, but it's not like everyone knows the trick. I don't know, I'm hangover.
No, that's really good, Master.
Cool? Okay,
that totally makes sense. Yeah. So this is, hey, Trasher, happy Saturday. Happy Halloween to those of you who are still hungover just like us.
Whoa.
You know what's super funny is that like in the middle of the night when I hear like, and then I hear cluck, 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 that's like the Advil bottle. Yeah.
It's always in the middle of the night.
It's always the middle of the night. You hear like the Advil bottle. You hear like the clink clink of the little Smarties of Advil. You hear it. I don't know. You're asleep and then you hear it. It's like okay, Master is gonna have a hangover. It's the same for me. When I do it.
You always say you wanted some Smarties, Master. You needed some Smarties.
You needed some Smarties, Master? Okay, I call them Smarties for adults. Not that you should consume them like that, but I mean, seriously, Advils are Smarties for adults. Like, when you're an adult, you need Advil in your life.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a bottle somewhere close at all times. Even when we travel, we have that.
Yeah.
That and Tom's. Those are the realities of life, people. The older older you get, the more real it becomes. So Wednesday was a massive hit. Like we finally got to answer some of the questions, to be together, to start the podcast and to start this new podcast format, which is us two together. We had some interesting comments, like Xavier, who is francophone, so I'm going to say this in French for all les Français qui nous écoutent. Félicitations, c'est un des podcasts que j'ai le plus apprécié. La relation avec votre maître rend ce podcast très réel et très agréable à écouter. Xavier a aussi acheté le livre et puis il l'a lu en entier. Donc, il y a une autre vision de notre relation.
And can you translate for all the English people out there?
He said, congratulations. It's one of the podcasts that I appreciated the most. This is from Xavier, who is francophone. The relationship with your master makes this podcast very real and very enjoyable to listen to. And what I was saying right after that is that Xavier has actually read the whole entire book, so he has it behind the scene. He has how we became like what we are today, and so it's great to have this kind of polarized opinion in the way that we have people who have only seen Piper Blush. We have people who've read the book and that have read the book before even knowing a lot about Piper Blush. I think Xavier is kind of new to Piper Blush, so he hadn't had a lot of Piper experience from what I can grasp. And then he got to re-meet us in this podcast format. And then we have a whole bunch of people coming from a whole bunch of places right now because we are doing this new thing, which is the movement, Happy Submissive, the platform, which is the podcast, Happy Submissive, and then the Bible, which is Why Submissive Women Are Happier, in that order. Midnight Smoke, again. Great show. I enjoyed meeting your master. Here's a like and comment as payment for entertainment. Yes, Midnight Smoke is very on giving thanks to the gods.
The algorithm. Algorithm, that word.
The algorithm gods. In that way. So we have Midnight Smoke. And then we also have James Corvette. Red Corvette. I searched Piper Blush online. I searched Piper Blush online. I'm not allowed in public libraries anymore.
That was a good one.
That's a good one. And I'm kind of happy of what I answered. I said I didn't even know they allowed that type of research in public libraries. And then he said, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
It's like you cannot search Piper Blush in an airport.
No, you cannot. You cannot. Anything that has some, adult content filter, you will not be able to find Piper Blush, except for the podcast.
The podcast is still not flagged.
You're still not flagged. Not yet. Not yet.
Subscribe before.
Subscribe before. They turn off our notifications and they shadow ban us. Just like this channel we're recording on right now is completely shadow banned from YouTube. I know this from Naomi Wu, who did some experiments with her channel. And she was looking, unless Naomi Wu's not on YouTube anymore, but for those of you who know her or who have known her in the past, she did this experiment where she was trying to find all of the titles of her video, but not her name, right? Not her YouTube channel. And all of the videos that would pop up were people who actually stole her video and re-uploaded it on YouTube, and those were the ones who were getting up, but her channel was completely shadow banned. Same for the @PiperBlush YouTube channel. If you find it, follow it, because it's like the ghost of YouTube's channel. It is impossible to find. We've been making podcasts for about 2 weeks now, and we're making short videos, and we're really trying to rebuild it, rebrand it, so YouTube might unflag it. Maybe we're gonna need to go knock there like Betito did, but it's really hard to find. So if you want to share the YouTube channel with somebody, make sure you got the URL. It's like the most secret thing on YouTube is to find the channel. Once you got it, hold on to it, because it will disappear. I'm telling you, it will. Over the years we've been on here, and you will probably get the other channel, the Piper Blush Experiment, which is not yet shadow banned. I mean, some videos are restricted and all that, but if you search for Piper Blush, the chances are you'll just get the Piper Blush Experiment channel, which is a smaller channel that we started after that one, the one we're on right now, got
because it was
shadow banned. Yeah. We're still doing some Piper over there on the Piper Blush experiment. If you missed like old Piper, classic Piper, vintage Piper, that's where we do.
This classic Piper.
Yeah, it's classic Piper. That's where we do all the stuff we want to do. Like the nun outfit is on there. some of the random things we do are on there. For the rest, I mean, I'm trying to divide so that the people who want to follow, like the podcast, have the podcast. The people who want to follow the Piper Blush, that have Piper Blush, so that you can follow everything or whatever you like. It's a bit like if you're subscribed to like Nickelodeon when you were a kid, you don't like all the episodes, right? But maybe you like just SpongeBob, so you watch SpongeBob, but you still have to be subscribed to Nickelodeon. That word, same but different. So, Master,
yes,
we're famous now. Okay, so I think this was the proof people wanted to know, that they wanted to see that you were real, right?
Yeah.
There's this dynamic, like when we started the YouTube channel about 8 years ago. Yeah, the Piper Blush YouTube channel that we're on right now. I mean, I did say the extraordinary life of an ordinary submissive girl. You found that tagline. Yeah. I mean, you did. We go over like all of that in the book, Why Submissive Women Are Happier. But like people were not sure. They thought I was playing a role. They thought I wasn't a real submissive.
They thought I didn't exist.
Yeah, mostly. They thought I was just filming alone or I don't know. Like, but this is fine. That was the whole entire point of the experiment was that. It was that I wanted to find myself as a submissive, and I was recording like in the format of blog, of videos, of all these things, like exploring why I was becoming more happy.
And it was the YouTube era of the YouTuber, the classic YouTuber, the people that film themselves and do whatever they want.
So it was, people assumed that it was 100% real, which I mean it was. It was real, but in that other sense, we did brand it. We did think about it. We weren't just doing nothing or anything in that way. We did have a lot of fun. Yeah, it was those great. Were like, right now that was our prime, but I believe that our prime is coming. I believe like that the movement and all of that, this is really gonna be like the biggest thing ever. We're gonna go on shows, like do big book tours and all these things. This is like, right now, if you're listening to this, you're in the genesis,
the scoop.
Yeah, this is the scoop. Like you're there at the beginning, right? Yeah. Like all those people that were there when we started like Etsy shopping disaster. They were there before Sports Bra versus No Bra. Yeah. Like those guys were there like from like The Art of Blowjob, right? They were there like at the total beginning, like way before. And then when Sports Bra and No Bra appeared, then they were like, oh, I knew Piper from before. Yeah. And this is exactly what's happening. This is the before of like going on these big TV shows in the US to like promote the book and the movement, the happy submissive movement. Mm-hmm. For men who want to lead and women who want to be happy submitting. Yeah, happy submissive. Okay, so now that you know that Master exists, that we've been a couple for the past 11 years, you can ask any of your questions. So make sure that you actually drop your questions on happysubmissive.com. Go join. It's free. It's free to join. Okay, it's totally free. Join as a free account. And then put your questions in the dashboard. There's a place that looks a bit like we said again, like Twitter, and you can just interact with us. Yeah, leave your questions, comment, feedback, whatever in there, because we love to growth hack, right? We love for people to give us like feedback and for us to be able to, just like tweak what we're doing to appeal more, then to be able to do more of what we love doing. So take a second to do that. If you can put your podcast on pause.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong?
The worst episode this week. The worst.
Yeah, the worst.
The worst. This is our flop of the week.
The flop of the week.
Crash and burn. Well, okay, it's the one that got the less views. It didn't even hit 1,000 views. It has 859 views right now. And it was reset after divorce or separation. I guess this did not go well for many reasons. Like people don't like to talk about.
Maybe it's not fun. Maybe it's just sad, and we don't want. I don't want to show interest about divorce. My wife is watching me.
Oh, maybe that too. Maybe we have a lot more couples than we think watching than like single man. And well, okay, single man would be like single, never been married or like never in that way. Then for the real divorcee, well, yeah, it's just, maybe there's not that many watching us.
Yeah, you should watch that, honey. They're talking about divorce. I think that's where we fail.
Yeah, that's where maybe we failed. I mean, the subject was good, but we could have, I think, okay, if we're assessing it, we could have just been like, okay, so what to do instead of going after divorce, like what to do if you're single and you want to find someone, or how to maybe start a conversation with your actual wife or girlfriend about like becoming happier as a couple and becoming like submissive, like talking about these things, talking about like the roles you want to do, because when you've been together for 20 years, of course some things have changed and maybe you're not exactly where you thought you were going to be when you started, but that doesn't mean like that it's over, right? That doesn't necessarily mean there's always a way until you decide it's over.
Yeah, always a way.
Yeah, maybe
Always.
also I'm too young to talk about this. I don't know. It's fine. That one was it was a flop. It was a flop. Did not work. But one guy is following us from Portugal. That's one of the comments we got. So we got fans from Portugal. So that's good. I mean, still, since you can listen to the podcast like wherever you get your podcast, and the internet is the internet, right? So we have fans from all over the world. And that I like. So this brings us to episode 5, which was Friday. And episode 5 was Halloween, Femininity, and Submission. And this one will beat the other one. And that one's from yesterday.
Was it good?
1,016 views. So it's the second lowest performer, but it was done like not even 24 hours ago. So that doesn't quite count. Like the Friday episode is always going to be possibly one of the lowest. Not because in 24 hours, having 1,000 views is really good. Like when we're talking that some other of our episodes have like 1,600 views and are like a week old, right?
Yeah.
So this
show is brand new. It's not that bad.
Exactly. This one has a lot of chances to get up there. and this was really about how women dress sexy on Halloween. It's the day that they have permission to express their sexuality and their femininity without being called sluts and whores. And yesterday night when we were walking home,
yes,
at 12:15 a.m. I mean, we saw a lot, right? When we arrived at friends' quarters, it was about 6:30-ish. So I was like, nobody's dressed up in the street. Like it was too early for adults and it was like too late for kids, right? So we were like in this in-between where there's
and it was raining also.
And it was very much raining, like pouring rain in Vancouver. We went out to get like some beers, and then there was a lot of like the Halloweens, as we call them in French, like the little kids dressed, but you couldn't see like half their costumes because they had
that's
like
really sad.
Umbrellas, and they were wearing rain covers.
I think it's the saddest day is Halloween when it rains.
Yeah, because it's not like Christmas. You don't care if it snows or not. You don't have you have a nice suit, but you go inside, right? Halloween is really meant for you to be out walking and for like adults to trick or treat you. Yeah, we have a leftover candy that we stole from friends' quarters.
Wonderbar.
And we have carrot milk, dairy milk, and Henry. That's one of my favorites, I think, on the table right now. We ate all the other ones.
This morning in bed.
With coffee. We do that these days. Yeah, we have a coffee in bed in the morning. We talk a little bit, and then we go to have our showers. This morning routine from Master and Marianne. But what was interesting was, all these women. I mean, all these women's, dressing as like, well, there's not really any good way to say it. I mean, I was one of them. I totally agree. But it's really like, wow, you're just wearing lingerie. Like literally, there's not much of a costume there.
Newsletter
sign up. Thank you so much for joining the newsletter. So that being said, like, there's you see all these women. There were a few guys too. I mean, the guys, as we said, the guys were more like Batman
but yesterday at Friends Quarter, people were not like super dressed
No, we
dressed
saw
up.
more cool costumes in the street, or like at the Oxton.
Yeah.
The Oxton, there was a bit more of like this. Okay, I made some efforts with my costume, like more of that. And so we were walking, but yeah, you see them, right? Like guys actually have clothes, girls do not. And and it was not raining though when we got out, so we walked back home, and it was great. You got to see all these people, right, dressed up, and you're like, why can't it be like that more often?
Yeah.
I think I understand this kind of carnival culture, like in Brazil, or like Halloween here, or even in Mexico, like Day of the Dead and these things, because it's really fun to have these big events where you know that if you go in the street, it's not going to be normal, right? You're like walking the street and you're seeing all these characters. And so that, I don't know, I just really enjoyed that. Like you don't know it's like a masquerade ball, but like in real life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like we need a few more of these days in the year, like to be able to express things and to go out and to try things out. Yeah.
I think I'm just thinking about that right now.
Okay.
I think Halloween should not have a theme anymore.
Like
a theme, dress as long as your costume.
Okay.
Because I think when they have a theme, people don't know what to do, and they're like,
or it's
messing
more
around.
difficult.
Yeah, so dress as a duck. I don't know why I say duck.
We saw a banana yesterday.
A banana dress.
We saw
however,
a banana.
But it was Day of the Dead, of the night.
Yeah,
of
at the
Day of
Hoxton,
Dead,
it was.
But nobody. There was a penguin.
Yeah, there's a penguin. We saw a penguin. And we were priest and nun. So I mean, and that's also the thing, right? You don't necessarily have that costume, and then you need to do the makeup. And I'm not like quite the best at like big crazy makeups. So in that sense, I think, yeah, if you let people free for all, you'll get more costumes. Oh, new chapter feedback. Somebody read it's chapter 3 that is available for free on our website, mdelacroix.com. So you can read chapter 3.
We got a comment.
I
noticed Master's wearing 2 of 3 different watches. Yeah, because when you're hangover, you need to put your Apple Watch just for your health thing.
Yeah. Yes, the Master wears his Apple Watch when we do physical things.
And I need to watch more.
Yeah.
See, I need to stand right now.
Yeah, we've been sitting down for like an hour. And then the Rolex is for
the Rolex
events,
is when
right?
you're in shape.
That's when
and
you know
you
you're
don't care
okay.
about your health. You're okay.
Master is 23 years older than me as well, for those of you who didn't know. And we have this joke, right? You started this joke. Yeah. Every time we see a man, with like really white hair, and he's wearing his Rolex, or it can be like, any watch of monetary price.
Yeah, luxury.
Any luxury watch, you're like, you're too old for this now. You need to wear your Apple Watch, but that's when you have the money to buy the Rolex.
Yeah, it's sad. When you have money to buy a Rolex, you cannot read the thing anymore. You need glasses. It's super sad.
Yeah.
But we saw a man the other day.
Yes.
The guy was wearing a Rolex, and on his other arm, he had like a Fitbit.
The Fitbit bracelet, which just tracks some of your health, a little bit of your health. So long story short, I have an Apple Watch. See, it's good to wear an Apple Watch. I mean, it tracks.
Treasure, you're a wise man.
Yeah.
A wise man. You don't wear a Rolex.
You should really just take her out like you take out your wife, right? It's like you take it, and we say that. Okay, let's take out the Rolex tonight.
Yeah, let's go out with a Rolex. That means we're gonna have a good meal.
Oh yeah, a good meal, and we're not gonna think about our Apple Watches.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do an episode on Rolex. We can do an episode on Rolex.
On Rolex and submission, we can definitely find something.
Yeah,
because women are really attracted by watches. We have stories.
Yeah,
we have stories
about
Rolexes and submission. Right, we're gonna do that. So that was episode 5. The whole Halloween thing, the whole getting to the Halloween, doing the Halloween. So let's do a little wrap up. So what's working and what's not working from this week's data? Okay, this week's data. This is the Saturday brunch. Yep. This is a roundup, recap, however you want to call it. And we're going to do this every Saturday. So you can come at 12 p.m. Pacific time. That's Vancouver time. Live on YouTube. Just search for the Happy Submissive podcast and you'll find us. And
it's red.
It's red. Yeah, it's red. And it's my face. Well, my face says Piper, I guess. I have different faces, but that, like my face, if you know my face, you'll know.
We know your face as Marianne.
I know. People recognize me in the street still. So I guess like I just have one face.
Piper. Yeah, it's
Hi.
still Piper. Hi,
There's like two
me.
guys yesterday that were like, Marianne. But I was like far away, right? And then so I turned and they're like, hey, she recognized her name. I was like, that's my name. Why wouldn't I turn around? Like, I think they thought that because I was dressed as a nun, I chose that name, like Mary, like Marianne. But no, that was my legit name. So that I don't know. They were like so stoked that I reacted. Yeah. So you called my name. What am I gonna do? Like ignore you? Like what if something's wrong with me? I'm gonna talk to you. Okay, so what was working? Some of the things we can't redo. So the top performing was Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, you being there. So meet my master. Yeah. We can't really repeat that in that way. I mean, it's done. So that was our top performing. Share it with your friend. Tennis players, badminton. Yeah, because that was top. And then a controversial topic. That's our second best, like the AI girlfriend and the uncensored model, the Lily uncensored model that we unveiled on happysubmissive.com. So that again, second best. Third best was I Dream of Jeannie. So the analysis between submission and her saying, yes, master. And that was like primetime TV, right? Back in 1965. And nobody had an issue with a woman like saying that she was a servant and a submissive woman to this man. So that was very interesting. What was not so working, and so what we have is heavy and depressing topics. Divorce. We
will not do that anymore. No more talking about divorce. Let's be funny instead.
Yeah, and then the other one, it's not that it was not working. It's just that it's only like 24 hours old. So the Halloween team, like the Femininity and the nurse. So we talked a lot about nurses and how the nurse. Some of the nurses were like, stop dressing as sexy nurses because that's not good for us being nurses. So we talked about that, but that's not that it wasn't good. It's just, it's seasonal content. So it's teamed. Like you do it for then, and then it comes back like next year for Halloween. A bit like Gordon Ramsay's freaking Wellington. Like every year you see. I saw it on YouTube already. I saw it on YouTube, like beef Wellington, because it's a thing that people do for like Christmas, like the beef Wellington.
Yeah, it's a thing for
so
Christmas.
you kind of every year you see it. I think it was at like 6 million views or something. That's less than some of our videos. Just putting it out there. Gordon, you got ways to go.
You got more subscriber than a lot of rock star.
Yeah. We were looking at some like old bands, right?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
Oh, different time, different platform. But it's interesting to have more subscribers than some of like your idols, right?
Yeah.
It's like some of
they don't have subscribers.
No,
it's sad.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so that being said, Midnight Smoke was our MVP. Like the most comments, the most interactive comments.
Yeah, thank you for subscribing to my Instagram, Midnight Smoke.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
It is a competition. So if you want to join the competition, just write comments, like listen to the podcast, and then write something. Tell us about you. Tell us something engaging so that we can have a real discussion. Yeah. So we really appreciate that. Final questions for the listeners, since we still have a few minutes to go. So would you like Master Q&A Part 2, where you can really like ask your questions? Huh?
I think we should do that.
Yeah, well, I
want to do that.
You want to do it. So yeah, it's really more focused on the male angle. So how Master made me who I am today. And like throughout the Piper blush, through how before Piper, because there was like a before Piper. Well, okay, maybe like just a month. But still, there was a whole transformation happening. And you made all of that happen.
As an example, Talking Heads.
Yeah.
336K subscriber.
So 3 million subscribers?
No.
Oh, 300,000?
300,036.
Yeah, that's less than Piper Blush.
Yeah.
That's this YouTube channel. Yeah, 500, 500,000. Let's round it up at 500,000. Okay, AI girlfriends versus real women. That was another like really, really intense like topic. People really reacted to that. So do you want us to talk more about how AI is affecting like our relationships?
Do we need
masculinity?
Do we talk more about AI?
Just
with
relationship. Maybe it's something, because some people are saying that soon enough, some people are going to come at dinner and they're going to present you their AI girlfriends, right? Like it's normal. Like, oh, this is my partner now. So this will be interesting. Then C.
Is she still a slave?
I was never a slave. If it's me, I was never a slave. People could confuse that so often. I was never a slave. Like, just go look at the dictionary definition of a slave. This does not work with me. If you've seen all my content on the internet, this is not it.
Does a slave have a bank account and do their taxes? Slaves do their taxes?
No, they don't do their taxes. They don't have free will. They don't have control over anything they do. They're just owned. That's it.
People need to do taxes.
Yes. And so I'm not a slave because I do my taxes. And I have my bank account and I have all these things. Yes.
And you have a cool car.
I do have a cool car with doors that open like this.
Not like this.
Not like this. Tesla Model X, yeah. Okay, or something completely new. Would you like us to talk about something we haven't discussed yet? You leave us a comment. You tell us all about this. This was the Happy Submissive podcast, hosted by myself, Marianne Delacroix, aka Piper Blushed, all over the internet, and my master, who we will keep on calling master.
Yes.
For the intimate, well, you can find out on the internet.
Yeah, find my name.
Yeah, just find his name somewhere on the internet, because it's there, and it's also in the book.
Yeah,
And why submissive women are happier.
Also, I would like to congratulate all the guys, my race.
Okay, yeah.
The men of this planet.
Yeah.
They're reading the book.
Yes.
More than the women.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Yes. Thank you guys. You guys have been like the most engaged, the most supportive, the fastest readers. Like, you guys have really put it out there for everything related to the book, even the podcast. I mean, you guys are great. You've been resharing, you've been reposting. Some guys are even telling me they started conversations with their wives. I mean, it's because of men that we are here right now, quite frankly, because again, why submissive women are happier. I have nothing else to say. Let's drop the mic.
That Rasha said, I tried the AI girlfriend. It was fun. You had to start paying for her to be dirty.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is actually like ours. Just like a prostitute. It's for the tokens. It's for the tokens. It's because, well, it costs us, server power to do that. So, yes. But thank you, Trasher, for your feedback and input. When we have, enough supporters, I'm sure we'll be able to put more things free, right? But right now, we need to stay afloat. So this is how we're doing it.
It's free for the token.
Yes. Tokens are the new currency. Yes. In the AI world. We will see you from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. on YouTube. Just search for the Happy Submissive podcast. If you have any teams or anything related to submission, masculinity, femininity, gender wars you want to talk about, hashtag Happy Submissive on all of your social media. Until next time.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace in chains of gold. You're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we are?